Hello everyone, and welcome back to the series where I take a card out of the Granny Square Stitches card deck every week and we make it together. We are up to week number 28. So card number 28 is this one called Cartwheels. And just like last week, we are making all sorts of fans and then double crochets together to do the reverse fans. I did a very similar washcloth pattern last year for our Washcloth Wednesday series, and they called that Catherine wheels, not cartwheels. So very similar though. Okay, they have used 3 colors, so I have pulled out 3 colors of my Cascade Anthem yarn. I've got Poppy Red, Peach Pink, and Lemon Ice. It's kind of a fun palette, isn't it? All right, let's take a look at the card and see what we need to do. I'm going to start by reading all the words. So, to work the square shown on the card, make 14 chain and follow chart working in 2-row stripes of yarns A, B, and C. So that is basically the same as we did last week. Complete the pattern on a row 5 and then finish with a row of single crochet. Again, very similar to last week's square. And then we're going to do our single crochet edging as we've been doing for 27 weeks now. So just like last week, we're going to make our chain and then we're going to single crochet back down the chain and then do our fans into those single crochets. I really appreciate this because I find it pulls and creates all sorts of holes when you start putting these fan shapes into your foundation chain. So whenever I'm doing like a washcloth pattern or something like that, I like to start with a row of single crochet and then put my pattern into it. It just keeps everything looking a little bit neater. All right, so to work the stitch pattern any size, your starting chain needs to be a multiple of 6, and then you're going to add 2, and then you're going to follow the chart and do all the things that we're going to do on the chart. Okay, so let's get started. It looks like they're starting with the palest color, so that is my Lemon Ice. So I'm going to get that, get a slip knot on my hook. And then we can chain 14. And that is number 14. As you should know by now, I like to work into my back bump. So I'm turning my chain over so I can see the bumps that run down the middle of my chain. That first bump at the base of my hook doesn't count. I'm looking for this bump and I'm going to single crochet into this one and all the chains all the way down the row. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to use my stitch markers. I'm going to continue single crocheting all the way down my chain and I will meet you when we get to the end. Okay, I'm right here at my last chain, so that gets a single crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And just like last week, we're starting with a single crochet in that first stitch. So I'm just going to do that, place my stitch marker, and then we can look at the chart together. I might have snuck a peek. Okay, so we've done our chain and then we've single crocheted back down it. So we're here, I have chained 1 and I've put in this first single crochet. So now we're going to skip 2 chains and into our stitches, sorry, and into the third stitch we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. And then we're going to skip 2 stitches and single crochet in the next and repeat that. I found last week I tended to forget this first and last single crochet, so I'm going to try not to forget it this week. All right, so we've already done our single crochet, so now we need to get oriented. We're going to skip 2 chains. Nope, we're not skipping chains. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and in this third stitch we're going to place 7 double crochets. So remember, our double crochet starts with a yarn over, you insert into the stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, pull through the next 2. So that's 2. We need 7 in total. Before I continue, I thought it might be a good idea to mention counting. How do you know if you've got 7 double crochets in your fan? Because sometimes your mind wanders and you lose count. So there's a couple of ways to count when you have a fan stitch like this. First is to count your V's like you would normally count. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this last V has my stitch marker in it. That indicates that's my single crochet. So I've got 7 fans. Or 7 double crochets, sorry. The other way is to count the posts. Because double crochets are such a tall stitch, you can count the posts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got that gap where we skip those 2 stitches, and then we've got our single crochet. So I don't know if that helps anyone, but sometimes it's a good reminder. Okay, now we've done our 7, we have to skip the next 2 stitches and lock that down with a single crochet. And then we're just going to repeat that. So skipping 2 stitches and then 7 double crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in this last stitch, which is where my stitch marker is, we're going to single crochet and we're going to change color. So I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch. I'm going to draw through a loop. I'm going to do my trick of laying my current color over my hook as well. I'm going to grab my new color and lay that over my hook, and then I can pull that new color through all of those stitches. And then, looking at my card, I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. I am not going to mark that. I'm going to mark the next stitch that we make. So before we do that, let's look at our card again. My little pointer tool. So we've just done this fan row, and now I've chained 3. So now we're going to do a 3 double crochet together. So very similar to last week, but we have an extra double crochet. So we do not stitch into the single crochet. That stitch has basically been taken by our chain 3. So our 3 double crochet together goes into the first 3 double crochets of our fan. Once I complete that stitch, I will mark it with my stitch marker. Okay, so I've got my chain 3. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to leave my yellow attached for now. I'll probably end up cutting it, but for now I'm going to leave it attached. So now this single crochet has been taken. So we're looking for our first double crochet stitch. I'm going to yarn over and insert into that double crochet stitch and pull up a loop. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. I'm going to pause, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Pause again, yarn over, insert into the 3rd double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I've got 4 loops on my hook, and I've got 3 half-made double crochets beneath my hook. So now I can yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Now I'm going to place my stitch marker. That's where I need to stitch into on the way back. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to single crochet into this next stitch. I didn't show you the chart, so let's quickly look at the chart for this part. We've just done our chain of 3 and our single crochet into this middle. This is the middle double crochet of our fan. So now, and then we're going to chain 3 again, and now we're going to do a 7 double crochet together. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 double crochets from this fan. We're going to do the single crochet, and then we're going to do the 3 double crochets from the next fan. Then we're going to chain 3, single crochet in the middle, double crochet of the next fan, chain 3 again, and then we're going to do 4 double crochets together to finish that row. And then we're going to chain 3, and we're going to put in 3 double crochets all into that same stitch. And then we're going to kind of do an offset pattern of the bottom row. So this is like a half fan here, and then we're going to do our single crochet on top of the single crochet, skip all the way over to our next fan and just mirror that fan, skip over to our single crochet and single crochet in there, skip over to this stitch that we just marked and do 4 double crochets into that. So that's like a half fan, and then we will change color in that stitch. That seemed like a lot, so let's work through it together. I'm at the single crochet, so now I need to chain 3. And the chains of 3 just give us the space to get over and then create our next stitch cluster. Okay, so we need to put a 7 double crochet cluster in here. So I've yarned over, I'm inserting into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do that in the next stitch and keep going until I've got 8 loops on my hook. Remember, I said last week, when you're making these double crochets together, the trick is you should always have 1 more loop on your hook when you're done than you do stitches that you've worked into. So if I pull down and I count the stitches I've worked into, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should have 8 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do. That's very exciting. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 8 loops. Chain 3. Find my next stitch and single crochet into that. And then I've got 4 stitches here. And I'm going to make a 4 double crochet together over all 4 of those stitches. Oh, but first I need to chain 3. I forgot to do that once, and it caused all sorts of problems last week. So let's not forget it this week. All right, so 4 double crochets together. After this week, I think you guys will be pros at double crochet together clusters. And we're going to take out this stitch marker. Oops, split that. Let's try that again. Lost my yarn over. 3rd time's a charm. Okay, 5 loops on my hook, yarning over, pulling through all 5. So that's what we have so far. And now I'm going to chain 3. And this time I am going to put my stitch marker in my chain of 3 because I think we are putting a single crochet in that later. I'm going to turn my work. Okay, so now I have to mirror what I have down below. So I am going to be putting 3 more double crochets all into the sort of the eye at the top of this stitch from below. So that's 1. My chain 3 is counting as a double crochet, 2 and 3. Now we're not chaining, we're just reaching over, finding our single crochet and single crocheting in it. And now you can see how these double crochets kind of mimic what happened down below. And now we need to come to the top of our fan, and we are going to place 7 double crochets in this stitch. So 2, then we're going to reach over to the single crochet, lock our fan down with a single crochet. And then we come to where our stitch marker is, and we're going to put 4 double crochets in here And in that last double crochet, we are going to change colors. So that's 2, 3. I'm going to start my stitch. So I've, let's back that up. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now my trick is to lay my current color over my hook. And then get the new color, lay that over my hook, and pull that through. And here we just need a chain of 1. I'm going to turn, I'm going to put a single crochet in that, and then we're going to look at the chart. And I'm going to mark that. So that is what we have so far. Let's take a look at our chart for the next row. So we have just finished this row. I have chained 1 and I've single crocheted in the last double crochet that I just made. So now we're going to repeat this row but offset again. So we're chaining 3, then we're going to make our 7 double crochet together to join these 2 fans together. Chain 3, single crochet in the top of this middle fan, chain 3, do another 7 double crochets together, chain 3, and then we're going to single crochet into the top of the chain. That's why I put my stitch marker there. So I've done a single crochet. I'm going to chain 3, and then over the next 7 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, that's my single crochet, 5, 6, 7, we are going to make our double crochet, our 7 double crochet together. So yarn over, insert into that first stitch, half complete a double crochet, next stitch, third stitch, you get the idea, right? It's number 6 and stitch number 7. So I should have 8 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yarn over, pull through all, 8, if I can. Now we're going to chain 3. And in our next stitch, which is the middle double crochet of that cluster in the middle, we're going to single crochet, chain 3, and do another 7 double crochet clusters. 1, that's 4 into my single crochet. It's always kind of nice that your stitches line up. So don't panic when you get to this point and you're like, oh my gosh, I've only got 1 stitch left, but I still need to do my single crochet. Remember, where I have my stitch marker is where I need to single crochet. So I've got 1 more double crochet to make. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 8 loops. I'm going to chain 3. And now where my stitch marker is where I need to put a single crochet. So I'm going to try and get, it got a little bit squished, but I'm still going to try and pick up 2 strands of yarn there if I can. There we go. And do my single crochet. So that is what we have so far. So now when we look at our card tells us everything we need to know. This is the repeat section. This is a repeat section. So we have just finished this row. Now we need to come back and we need to repeat this row. So I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to single crochet on top of that single crochet. Put in a stitch marker. And now we're going to reach over, and in this stitch here, we're going to make our 7 double crochets together. And then we're going to reach all the way over to this single crochet and single crochet on top of it. If you are starting to see a pattern, we are basically mirroring whatever we did below. So let me just finish this and then we'll talk about that. So I've got the bottom of a shell here. I need the top of a shell here. This creates the bottom of the shell here. I'm creating the top of the shell there. Does that make sense? We're putting a single crochet on top of a single crochet. We're basically just mirroring what we've done from row to row. Okay, I'm going to finish this off with a single crochet and I'm going to change color back to my yellow. This seems like a long way to pull it up, so I am going to cut off these tails. Just means more ends to sew in, but that is okay. And our next row is going to be a repeat of this section here. If we look at the top of the card, we've just finished this red section, so we're going to do another repeat of this orange. Oh, they've used orange. I should have looked at that. I didn't have to cut off my yarn. Oh well, it's cut off now. Okay, so we're going to change to the orange, and then our last row is going to be the yellow. So I'm going to work that up off camera, and we will come back. We will do our yellow row together. See you then. Okay, I finished those 2 rows, and now we just have one last row to do. If you remember when we read all the words on the card, it said to complete the pattern on a row 5. So this is our row 5, where we kind of have the reverse of row 1. So I have chained, but I haven't done anything else. So we are going to, oops, it's awfully loose because I changed color. We're going to single crochet in this first stitch here. I'm just going to take a moment and sort of tug my ends and tighten everything up. Come on. I'm going to single crochet in there. I'm going to chain 3. And then we're going to make our 7 double crochet together. So 1, 2, 3, and 7. Chain, whoopsies. Chain 3, find our next stitch and single crochet, chain 3, and do our 7 double crochet together. Chain 3, we're gonna find where our stitch marker is, and that's where we put our final single crochet. Okay, so now we just need to do our last row, which is a single crochet row. Our beginning chain had 14, and then we single crocheted into the second chain from the hook and every chain all the way down, which left us 13. So we need 13 up here. So we're gonna have 1 in the beginning. Let's see if we need 2 or 3 on our chains. If we do 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle of our stitch, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think that was what we had last time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then working back across, we're just going to single crochet in the top of that stitch, 2 around the chain, 1 in the middle of this cluster, 2 around the chain, 1 in the middle of that cluster, and repeat. we're going to end with a single crochet in the last stitch. Let's make sure we got 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Beautiful. We are going to be doing our border in red, so I'm going to cut off, whoops, my yellow. Now, as I'm looking at my work right now, my beginning tail, sorry, that's off center. My beginning tail's on the right, which means technically this is the wrong side. Now, here's the conundrum. This first row of single crochet, technically I'm looking at the wrong side of it. This last row of single crochet, I'm looking at the right side of it. So, I don't think it much matters which side you want to make your front or your back. Pick a side that looks good to you. I'm actually going to pick this side. Somehow it just seems more pleasing to me on this side. So I'm going to take time and weave in all these ends, and then I'm going to put the border on. You've seen me put borders on. You don't need me to do it for you. I'm going to attach my red up here. Single crochet 13, chain 1, single crochet back into that stitch, turn my work. I need to put 13 stitches down this side. So let's see, we've got 1 here. Go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's how we're going to do it. And then in this corner, we're going to have a single crochet on this side. We're going to have a chain 1. We're going to turn, and then we're going to single crochet 13 along the bottom, chain 1 in the corner, turn, single crochet 13 up the side. And then go around again for one more round. When that is done, I will come back and show you. Alrighty, I will see you then. And there she is, all finished. This is another one that is feeling more rectangular than square. Hopefully that comes out in blocking. We'll see. Anyways, that is week number 28, Cartwheels, and next week we are going to be doing this one, which is called Spring Garden. Fun little flowers. Okay, I will see you then. Bye-bye.